On today's show, we get down on the unnatural sounds of the future. Are we saying these songs are in the computer? We'll tell you this and more on today's Six Picks Music Club. Welcome to Six Picks Music Club, a music podcast for people who... Welcome back. You're listening to another episode of Six Picks Music Club, the music podcast where each episode we pick 6 songs based on a theme. Thanks for tuning in every other Wednesday to catch each and every new episode. Catch each and every new episode. Be a buddy and help us grow the show by sharing it with your friends. Like and subscribe and all that jazz to keep up with our shenanigans. And if you missed an ep, they're all on your favorite podcast platform. It's pretty easy to go get caught up. I'm your host, Dave, and with me, as always, are my 2 co-hosts. We got Russ and Jeff. What do you got for me, guys?
The humans are dead.
Hey, Dave. What's up?
Nice. Nothing, man. Nothing. Chilling. Just excited to get into it today. This is some fun songs. You guys alive? Are you okay?
Yeah. Computers and what have you. Sorry, I was just reading my computer.
I feel like you guys are both just buffering at this moment. We need to kind of like get a little more energy in the building. Maybe we should get in the building. Do we got a password?
I don't need your PC, Jack. Give me P and VG and a cheesy snack.
That's a good one.
It's longer. That's the reason I didn't say more when you were like wanting to do the chatter at the beginning, because I was just trying to memorize my 2-line poem.
Well, that's fantastic. And look at that. The door's coming right on open. Let's get in there, listener. Let's go get a snack.
So I went to see Jack White last night.
Oh, you did?
I saw Jack White at the RBC Amphitheater. And
Are they
it was
Toronto's
a little last
own?
minute.
Canada's own?
Yeah, they're a Montreal band.
Okay.
Angine. Man, did they have a lot of fans. You do a crazy video on TikTok and people will turn out at the concert to watch you in black and white polka dot. Like everybody's wearing black and white polka dots. It was nuts. But my buddy, wife and I were talking about, do we go again to Jack White? We just went last year. Do we want to blah, blah, blah? And so she ultimately was like, nah, I don't think so. And then I was like, am I going to go by myself? And then the day before, my buddy Matt was like, hey, let's go and we'll go to like take the boat over and eat dinner at this place, the Lake House, which is behind the stage. It's like backstage at the venue. And then you go to this, like he had tickets to go to this VIP section that was like a deck with its own bar. And that's where we watched the concert from.
Oh, man. I have never done VIP. You guys are doing it all the time, it feels like. And it sounds kind of awesome. I need to try it out.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a different thing, though, I would say.
That's true.
Like, I wouldn't want to do VIP at like a punk show or like even something I want to get down in the nitty gritty with, but Jack White I've seen multiple times. I was there with 4 other dudes, everybody is a dad and we're basically going to party and hang out. And if we were down in the pit, we would have just been watching the show, which is also awesome, but we were in the VIP section so we could bullshit, drink beers. They were blasting cigs. I was like, I better not blast those cigs. And I was right. Good Lord. I can't imagine walking around today and just the toxic fumes of the wildfire. And I just had like cigarette throat all day. I felt bad for those dudes. But couple of notes about the Jack White concert. First, Yonder bags. Are you familiar with them? Do you know what Yonder bags are?
Is that the thing you put your phone in that you can't use your phone? Okay.
Yes, and they must have 20,000 of them, first off, which is wild, because everybody's got
we call them Faraday bags here.
Like Nicholas Faraday, like it blocks out signal to the phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess Yonder's the brand.
Okay.
Anyhow, we are going to get on the little boat that's going to take us to the lake house restaurant, which is a cool little thing because the venue is sort of out on the lake. And so we take a boat over instead of having walking across the bridge. We're being VIPs, being 40-something dudes.
Oh, it's like a cattle boat?
It's like a kind of like a party barge. You know, remember party barges?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Nice. And there's like a little fleet of them, and they're just like bringing people over to this restaurant. But it wasn't like so crowded there. Anyway, so before we get on that, they gave us the Yonder bag, which is like, I don't know, it's the size of an iPad, it feels like, because it's got to fit all phones. So it's a big thing, and it's got like a little tiny D clip on it. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't wear belts all the time. You know, like if I have a comfy pair of shorts that just fit me right, I'm not going to wear a belt.
Yeah.
But then I got this.
Yeah, like if you have to, nice pants or something.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes you just have to wear a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have a nice event, you got to wear a belt. You're wearing a suit, you got your belt. Going to a funeral, wearing
You
a
got
belt.
your fat shorts on, but you're not fat that day.
Yeah, totally.
So
totally.
yeah, like
So
all
I
of my
went-
shorts are fat shorts still, and so I have to wear a belt.
Oh, that's funny. So mine fit me exactly right. And they're like, I wear these shorts that are like golf shorts almost. Like they're kind of like, they dry quickly. They're, they fit my legs just the right way. Anyway, I didn't have a belt on, and I've got to hang this Yonder bag, this giant thing with my phone in it, off of my belt loop. And so I automatically look like my dad because, when they like clip the phone on their pants. But then it was also dragging my shorts down because like they're not.
Yeah, it's like when I'm wearing my fat shorts and I have my phone and my keys
So
in one pocket and it just drags them down. I'm just like, it's hanging off on one side of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally got it.
So whole night I'm just busting a sag, with this old man Yonder bag hanging off of me, and then you just can't use your phone the whole night. And that was tough because when the mushrooms hit, dude, we could see downtown Toronto. It was a perfectly clear night, and I think some of that wildfire smoke was starting to come in, so it was like glowing purple and gold outside. And I was like, oh my god, dude, I just want to take a picture of the beautiful vista. I don't care about. I'm not trying to take a picture of Jack White. Yeah.
How does the Yonder bag work? Like you put your phone in there, and then is there like a code, or how do they keep it from getting out? How do they keep you from getting it out?
It's got like a button on it that clasps, and you can't undo that button. And one of my guys was drunk and trying to smash the button to see if he could pop it open, and he could not. And he kept making an ass of himself.
I think all you need is a magnet to open these things, from what I understand.
Really? They just bring a magnet with them to the concert. Yeah, I think
So we were looking at a school with my daughter, and one of the parents was leading like one of these tours, and she was talking about how the kids have to put their phones in these Faraday bags, and then and the kids had learned that all you need to do is you can open them with a magnet. So they would just like keep a magnet with them and open it,
funny.
and then type whatever they needed to do or do whatever they're going to do, and then put it back in there. And she's like, I don't know anything, and I'm not saying anything, but that's what I heard.
We went back to that lake house bar thing afterwards, and there was a guy that just had it was a large round metal disc, like the size of a film canister, kind of. And he came up, and we gave him the Yonder bag, and he did something, and it opened up. I was a little drunk and not paying close enough attention, but it was just like a implement to easily open it up. But it probably was just like a large magnet turny thing. Yeah, but it was a weird experience. Not to be like a complaining parent, but I was thinking like if wife and I had gone to the show together, like what the hell would we have done if something's up with the kids,
Sure.
babysitters, like you're just, I guess you're just like, figure it out. Like they fell down the stairs, figure it out. We'll be back in a couple of hours. Like I also, when I go to a show now, and maybe I'm doing a VIP thing, I entertain the notion of like, what would I say to the artist if I ran into them? Because I wouldn't do, I think we've all discussed this before, but I don't want to do the selfie thing. Like that seems played out to me. I would rather engage them in a conversation. I think that would be like if I'm able to. This is kind of like Dave's Amy Winehouse situation, except there's no evidence that a conversation or any other interaction or pictures happened. He's just filled it all in from drinking vodka. So the story I would tell Jack White, I'd be like, dude, do you have 30 seconds? Can I tell you a story? And if he was like, yeah, this really happened. So 20 years ago, and I had gone through my White Stripes phase. So this is probably like 22 years ago. I was listening to heavy rotation of White Blood Cells, Elephant, and Destyle. Okay. And I went back home to Shreveport, Louisiana, and I went to my dad's friend's house party. And my dad's friend had a band, old guy band. And that same guy with the band lost his mother to a heart attack a few days before this house party where his band is playing. And everybody knew that woman. She was lovely. He goes up on, like to play at his house party. And he's like, before we get started, I just want to say, the last few days have been tough. We're all grieving. We loved our mom very much. And I spent the last couple of nights writing this song for my mom. It's called Peggy's Song. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And we were all like, okay. And he started the song up, and it was note for fucking note, I'm Bound to Pick It Up by the White Stripes. Like, bam, 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 bam. Like, all, like the exact same thing, except the words were different. And he's like, I'm gonna miss you so much, blah, 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 something Peggy, right? And I was like, in my mind, okay, I'm at this party, I'm drinking. It's a bunch of Louisiana redneck old people. None of them have heard the White Stripes. I'm the only one there that has ever heard the White Stripes. So I was thinking to myself, there's only two options. This guy, a friend of ours, knows that song, copied it exactly and changed the words, or he wrote Peggy's Song in a fit of inspiration, and it's the exact same song musically as a White Stripes song. What do you think happened? It has to be that he copied it, right? It was too similar.
It has to be coincidence. I can't imagine that a dude right? who, like, old man Louisiana is, like, playing White Stripes.
Yeah.
Or listens to him or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, because his band covers, like, Train and stuff.
Oh, he was covering Train? No, then he definitely knew that song. I was thinking
it's possible but even, like, this style's kind of a deep cut, So it's like...
Nah. If he was, like, playing a bunch of 70s classic rock, sure, coincidence. But if he's playing Train, then Alabama. He knows what's going on. I don't believe it. He totally stole it.
He knows about it. Yeah, so... But it was such a weird situation.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I had to weigh my empathy versus my need for the truth. I thought about saying, Peggy's Song is a great cover tune, right? Wink at him. I think she would have enjoyed your cover that you wrote, wink, But I never said anything, dude, and I've always wrestled with that. I want to know the truth.
So that's the story you would tell to Jack White?
Yeah, I think it's funny. You don't think so?
Okay. Do you think that he would think it's funny?
I wonder if you think that he's actually going to go take this whole journey with you, because it seems like a pretty in-depth story.
Well, I don't think Jack White would have as many questions as you guys had.
Yeah.
I thought about making up a lie to end the story, or like ending it with something funny just to like close the loop, because the end of the story is I'll never know. But I could have been like, and so I went up and I talked to him and he just winked at me and kept playing the song, or kept going with his set or something like that. Like he knew. I think that would be funny. But you don't think it's a good story, Dave?
No, it's a fine story. I don't know that it fits into your 30 seconds with Jack White window. It's a little, you have to get, I think, a little less granular.
Yeah. I think I could tell it faster. I could tell it faster. Right? It took me like a minute and a half if we're timing.
You're going to play a Fender Tell It Faster?
Fender Telecaster. No, excited to see him, but also excited to get into it with our topic tonight. So,
yeah, could I just ask you what you were the generator of the theme this week? What was the inspo?
Well, so today, the day that this is releasing, is also the anniversary of IBM releasing the personal computer to the masses in 1981. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of a fun...
And today on their on the day we're recording, they actually had a huge stock crash, dropped 25% or whatever, which is the worst day for them since 1968.
Did they really?
Oh yeah.
I did not see that.
So it was 45 years ago. And then what do you happen to... Is there a date stamp on that? Because I'm interested... how that corresponds with this music that's coming up.
It is, so it's funny because this happened, I came across this while I was looking at your song, but that happened in, I think, April or May, and your song was released, or that album was released in August, I believe. So it was right on the heels. So it's funny, when there were a couple of things when I was making my picks, because I wanted to leave some runway for Jeff to kind of get in there and find a couple that I think we might have picked the same on. And Kraftwerk, which is, spoiler alert, the first track we're going to hear tonight, they're high on my list as far as computer bands. And so I intentionally didn't pick a Kraftwerk song. And then I also didn't pick a Tom York song, which I thought was going to be a nice little sort of workaround because we've done Radiohead, but we haven't done his solo stuff. So,
interesting.
His first couple of solo things are very computer driven, very electronic. So,
the Eraser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some good tracks on that.
No, I obviously thought about OK Computer one should, but I didn't think to go to the solo stuff, which would have been a way to circumvent our rule. But for new listener, the rule is we don't do repeats. We're allowed, I think, 3 repeats a year from the last year. Is that right, Russ?
Yeah.
Okay. So in 12 months' time, you cannot repeat more than 3 artists. So yeah, anniversary of the personal computer coming to the masses, and I was like, okay, let's do computer music or electronica or something like that. How are we using, synthetic noises to make music? And yeah, we've got a bunch of really fun songs, I think, that fit. And there's a couple of, I have a couple of theories that I'd like to get into how all of these songs play together with regards to the perception of computers in society as we get into it. But I think we just get started. So maybe without further ado, Jeff, you want to introduce your first track, even though I spoiled the band?
Pick number 1, baby.
So I immediately thought of Kraftwerk when you sent in your thing. They have a whole record. It's called Computer World, and lots of the tracks have computer in the title. And the one that I chose is one that I quite enjoy called Computer Love. This is Computer Love off of August 1981's Computer World. Kraftwerk, I mean, could we be more on the money predicting the future than this record, right? First off, it sampled out the wazoo. So they were the first people to make music like this that sounded like this. And this was their 8th album. So in 1975, they had Autobahn, which had a 22-minute long song that was a hit, which is insane. Autobahn.
Man, it always just reminds me of The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I found out about him. I was like, what band is that? and then I listened to it and I was like, dude, this is awesome. But interestingly, so they toured a computer facility in like Dusseldorf or something to learn about how they worked, and then they used that as inspiration to write this record. And they were predicting that in the future, this song is about, it's like, I need a rendezvous, I call this number, and he's like using his computer to find love, which, okay, so they're predicting online dating, like there, and then there's also like the surveillance aspect is on the record, but also like the fun stuff that you're going to be able to do on computers is in the record, and computer love. Like, did they just predict the entire future that would happen 20 years later? It's incredible. Just from like going to like a place where they're making mainframe computers or something, but the other thing that's kind of interesting about it is that they don't really use computers at all to make the record. Just something like some of the vocal effects were digital, but everything is analog. So they used like a Roland System 700, a Moog, Poly Moog, a Prophet 5, like these rhythm units and Vox Percussion King type stuff. Like they just had all like this cool equipment, and it's all analog and shit. And they're making the first computer music with that stuff. And it's almost like it became the way that computers sound, but because people making computers were modeling the sounds off of what Kraftwerk and some other early pioneers were doing.
I mean, I have to call a little bit of an audible on that, because I mean, technically, you can look at computer music as a genre.
You're gonna have to call an Autobahn on that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call a little Autobahn on that.
I gotta check it, because like computer music as a genre is something that like is the reason that we have synthesizers, right? So it's like they're running these giant $1 million programs on these computers in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s to produce like the Baba Black Sheep noises from a computer. So it's totally alien, foreign stuff. But it's like in the 70s, the advancement of technology and the microchip development and then microprocessor development, it allowed for synthesizers to make computer music in real time. So it wasn't like I've got to write code and an algorithm to then make this sound. It's like real time, I have that now. And so that's where we get some of that Yamaha DX7 and all the other sort of still like analog synth stuff, but it's like, it's still technically I don't know, what do you call it? Generated from that origin of computer music.
Yeah, I think what I'm trying, you're right, and synthesizers are effectively computers in a way, right? And so
no, but I'm not saying that this is wrong or out of place at all. I'm just sort of, for listener, like I think the distinction of computer music and how we get here, it's like there was it was the invention of the MIDI processor that allowed for this real time musical production of...
Oh man, this is really interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah, fuck off. Okay, keep going.
No, but what I'm interested in, it's the same kind of phenomenon that like when the military was starting to try to install weaponized lasers on stuff, you can't hear lasers, and so they're like, well, they need to, like, a pilot needs to know that they've shot a laser if they're shooting a laser. So we have to give it a sound effect. And so the sound effect that they gave it is the laser noise from Star Wars. The pew pew noise, right? Pew. And yeah, pew pew. And so they know that it's recognizable as a laser. So the sci-fi version of a laser became the actual sound of the laser. And I think a similar thing has happened in like computer sounds. Like, because there were, I think, computers making sounds before Kraftwerk, but I think a lot of their music became infused with the way that computers and computer generated music sounds now. Like all the little beeps and shit. Like,
yeah.
It was sort of reflecting an early reality, but they are building all of these cool textures and stuff that I think the computer world ended up borrowing from. In fact, like people have borrowed so much from Kraftwerk that they have a lot of copyright disputes, and there's like a 20-year long legal battle between them and like all these people that were sampling the music that they ultimately lost. They're kind of a bit of a, they're not the most pleasant group of people. It doesn't seem like one of their former members, Wolfgang Fleur, after he left the band, he published a memoir called Kraftwerk, I Was a Robot, and the other members, Ralf Hütter and Florian Schneider, like viciously attacked him because their process was secret. Like they didn't want to know, they didn't want people to know how they built their music, and they didn't let people visit the studio or any of that stuff. And so he was like publishing unauthorized photos.
You know, they didn't allow a phone in the studio.
You had to put them in early yonder bags, like a suitcase.
No, it had like they wouldn't let any phones in there. When they finally did, you had to call on at a specific time, and if you called at that time, it would go through. Otherwise, you couldn't get through to them.
Huh. That's so funny, dude. What a bunch of crazy people. But I mean, that level of like type A and control is like clearly driving the creation of their music at the same time. So.
Can I get a real quick heat check on like those are maybe the most German sounding names that are ever
yeah. Ralf Hütter, Florian Schneider, Wolfgang Fleur. Yeah, it really is.
It's like no one's confusing them for the Italian team.
Fascinating group. Yeah. Inspired hip hop. Dre has sampled them. Early hip hop, like there's like this guy named African Bombast. Something like Bombasta, I think. Bambata. Yeah, that was in 1982. He's already sampling them. Like people were listening to Kraftwerk. So they have become something of did become something of a punchline, I think, with Big Lebowski. But they're the real deal and hugely influential. And that's my 10 minutes on Kraftwerk.
Yeah, man.
Okay, real quick before we move on. So, Ralf Hütter, he was obsessed with cycling, and he would often like cycle 100 kilometers like per day before going into the studio to record. And then when they started touring, he would refuse to ride the tour bus, and he would cycle from city to city and make the bus trail behind him at a snail's pace to keep watch. And then in the early 80s, he got in an accident, and it put him in a coma. Apparently, when he woke up, he was like, "Where's my bicycle?" And apparently, the fixation on cycling is the reason why Karl Bartos had to leave the band.
Dang,
that's crazy.
Don't they have one of their records is Tour de France, isn't it? It's got the 3 cyclists on it. I can't remember what it's called.
Don't know.
Oh, okay. Never mind. All right.
I don't know their whole catalog. That's what a fascinating group. I would like to read that memoir. I'm curious about.
I kind of would too.
You know,
I kind of would too. No, I think so. Like in the 80s, we got the Revenge of the Nerds, and they do their little thing at the end. That's kind of Kraftwerk, kind of Devo. At the
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
But it's very kind of like origins of like nerd rock and math rock and stuff. But very cool, very cool.
It's the shit pick!
All right, well, next up is me. Last week, or maybe not last week, but recently, there was an app where Russ said, hey, if you want to have the shit pick, you're the one who programs the order, so just fucking do it. Stop making this stupid mistake, you idiot. And so he's right, and I did. So we are gonna.
What was the issue? You wanted to have the shit pick, but you never did.
I'm just getting my picks mixed up, my acronyms, my silly jokes.
Oh, I see.
Well, I do think this is a nice transition pick from Jeffro's pick. So let's get into the shit pick on computers, and that's going to be off of the 1996 album Traveling Without Moving. It's Jamiroquai's third record, and the track is Virtual Insanity, because of course it is.
a girlfriend in Denton. I probably shouldn't say her name, but when we hooked up, she only put 2 different records on, and one of those records was a Jamiroquai record. And I was like the only person I've ever met that listens to anything like any other Jamiroquai songs was her.
Oh man!
And so, but it was so weird because it's not hookup music to me, you know. But I was like, I guess, dude, I like you. We're listening to Jamiroquai while we get freaky.
Well, that album does actually have a couple of really great other tracks on it. It's got Cosmic Girl, which is one that I think got a lot of pub, but it's very different from their record before, The Return of the Space Cowboy, which had a lot of like, or then the one before it, there's a lot of like social consciousness of like, you know, how are we taking care of the earth? And then with this one, they kind of shifted their focus to like, hey, you know, like we want to be bigger than just like the band that sells, you know, 1 million records. And then a couple years later, they put out another one. He's like, I want to be bigger. So like they wanted to do this album that was, you know, more about the fun and like the good times and like, you know, the cars and the girls. And so like you get some of that imagery in the videos, not this video, which we'll talk about in just a sec, but they caught a little bit of backlash for that. Like, oh, that's kind of hypocritical. And they're like, well, you know, just because like I like a fast car doesn't mean that I want like them to build a bunch more roads for me to drive it on, and I can only drive one at a time. So it's like
when people like call out other people who are saying, "Hey, we need to be conscious of the earth," but they're like, "But you're using a phone which uses all the resources." Blah 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 blah.
Right.
So you know, it's
man. Yeah, I saw a thing today where some fucking idiot congressman's asking the SNAP lady, like, do you think they should use SNAP benefits to buy sugary sodas? It's just like, it's not, it's there to help people who need help getting food and beverages. That's all it is. But attributing like some kind of moral standpoint to something that shouldn't have that is like, kind of what I'm hearing you say. Anyways, a couple of quick notes on this song. I think that it's an interesting transition from Jeff's song because it's like
by the way, just real quick, I use my SNAP benefits to buy Snapple specifically, just because I like the parallelism, you know.
Sure. So like 15 years after your song talks about sort of all of the things that computers might do. Jamiroquai comes out, and the singer's name is J.K., like Jaykai, not just kidding, abbreviated, but J.K.
Oh my god, dude!
I know
it's even worse.
Say like the South Park guy, you know?
J.K.
No, like the Mr. Mackey guy or whatever his name is.
J.K.
Hey,
the name of the singers is J.K. Okay,
sing that real catchy number, J.K.
J.K., why don't you get up there and sing that song about your big old fuzzy hat? But he gives us this warning that like, hey, maybe that's not such a great idea. Like, and if you can like stop dancing for, you know, all the funky like licks and such in there and get into the lyrics, it does kind of talk about sort of this dystopian future. It's like he's talking about like genetically engineered children. You know, you could pick the color of your baby, and like cloning and environmental destruction and just like technology replacing humanity. Some really kind of like dark stuff that like I don't think I picked up on in 1996 when I was like jamming out to that John Glazer video, which is an all-time great music video. If anybody doesn't know that video, I think everybody that knows this song knows it from that video. Like I'd be hard pressed to.
The room was on wheels, man.
Right.
It's crazy. So good.
They moved the walls around it. So there's a really good documentary on the making of that video that I recommend you go check out. But it's super cool. It looked weird and foreign and alien at the time because like we didn't understand how they did it, but it won the MTV Music Awards for cinematography, best visual effects, breakthrough video, and then video of the year. So like this was in a time where MTV was really, doing stuff. Like it was a valuable, like music videos were a revered medium. And actually, John Glazer doing this video was a result of because he had done that Street Spirit Fade Out video for Radiohead, and they're like, "Oh, we need to get that guy's." Yeah, that's how they picked him. But yeah, so it's like the way that he's moving and all the stuff that's going around him. It's like he's kind of in this virtual. It's kind of almost looks like, because it's a white room, right? So it's like a Star Trek holodeck kind of thing, and there's all these kind of elements that are room. Like, yeah. But it was entirely practical. There's very few digital effects. I think one of the only ones that they did was he had like markers of tape on the floor so he could know where to stand, where the things were going to move. But he did all this sort of like improv stuff. Like there's that part where he's like tiptoeing between the couch and the wall as it's about to close. He was like, that was just kind of sort of on the spot choreography. And then there's another spot where he like is on his knees and does like a 180 thing so that the wall doesn't smash into him. But it's like it's pretty fun. He actually got nominated for choreography, but he didn't win. A couple other notes on this. This album set a Guinness Book of World Records for the best-selling funk album of all time, which is, I think, kind of a wild deal. And the inspiration for this all came from, like, he was in Sapporo, Japan, visiting, and so he's walking around at night outside, and it's snowing, and so everything is white, and there's nobody outside. There's like, it's totally empty, and it's totally silent, and then like they go into this essentially underground city where there's all this commerce and shopping and people and bustling and just like all of the stuff that's going on. He has that line where he's like, we all live underground. And so it's like this whole idea that people prefer artificial environments over nature that he experienced when he was in Japan. So also, funnily enough, this was like the first song that they recorded, but they weren't going to put it on the album. They only had done like a rough demo of it when they first got into the studio to do this album. And then when they were finishing up the record, the label was like, well, we really need a single. Do you have something that you can put together? And like, well, let's go back to this and, we'll finish it up. And that's what they turned in. So like the song that wasn't originally going to be on the album is their biggest hit. So
that's the case with so many bands. It's wild.
Yeah, seriously. It's because like while they're all trying to do whatever the fuck vision they have, they rattle off a couple of songs that are
they're just like, let's try this new thing that we haven't done before, and who gives a shit?
Yeah, let's just do this thing, and I don't really like it that much or whatever, but that's cool. Like Radiohead did it with Creep. Tears for Fears did it with Everybody Wants to Rule the World. They all thought that song was lame as shit.
Rise Against did it with Savior. I mean, it wasn't even supposed to make it on the album, and then somebody ended up putting it on the album, and now it's like their biggest hit. And like, what are you gonna do? Like, just like, I feel like that's just the story of so many bands.
Yeah, that's such an interesting thing. Like, what gets attention and what doesn't? Like, it's just, that's a bizarre. Like, if you're, I think we're all like creatives and we've made things, and some of the things that you've made, like people pay more attention to than other things, but you kind of have no idea what's going to be what, you just like, you can't even really guess it. And that's so fascinating. How did Glycerine by Bush ever get selected to be a single? Like, it's the most boring fucking song. Like, I remember, I actually have a distinct memory of, like, I was listening to 98 Rocks in Shreveport, and my dad was in the car and he never heard Bush, and they're like, next up we got a song from Bush, and I was like, dude, you gotta hear this band, they jam. And he was like, oh yeah? And I thought it was going to be like Everything's In or something. And it came on and it was fucking Glycerine. And I was like, it's probably going to crank up at some point. It's going to crank up. Like, it's starting slow.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for it.
No, it's just slow. It's just slow the whole time. And then it ends. And he was like, that didn't jam that hard to me, man. And I was like, I know. God damn it. What was that? Don't let the days go by. Anyway,
last two things I got on this. The for are like very similarly to your Kraftwerk guys. There's not a ton of digital elements in the recording of this song. Like even that bass line that sounds like a synth is not. It's just Stuart Zander killing it. Like just getting awesome. Super funky with the pedals and adjusting it. And it's kind of like also like Kraftwerk, kind of predicting the future. The anxieties with AI and designer children and people preferring the digital world over the natural one. I saw an article today.
I could go back and redesign my children. Could we do that? Could we just redesign the ones we already have?
Anyway, it's not bad for 1996.
If you're listening in the future, children, I was just kidding. I love you guys just the way you are, or and all that.
All right. Next up,
I died tomorrow, and they're like, "We're gonna go back through all of Dad's content."
I just want to hear his voice again.
Suck.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I hate my life.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No,
you guys ruined awesome. Everything for me. I just want to smoke.
Yeah, I want to blast cigs, dude.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, well, let's take a quick break and take a minute for a music history minute.
Music history minute. We'll dig in their dirt. Rock stars are people, but way more pervert. One fuck of a ride through their dicks and their jugs. Music history minute is like sex on drugs.
In the late 1980s, the post-punk band New Order took the money they made from their massive hit Blue Monday and opened a nightclub in Manchester called the Hacienda. It was meant to be a temple for forward-thinking music, a place that defined the city's identity. But when the drug ecstasy hit the UK, the culture inside the club changed overnight. Thousands of people flooded the dance floor every weekend, fueled by MDMA. The vibe was euphoric and peaceful, but it created a business disaster. Nobody was buying drinks. The club was bleeding cash while drug dealers working the floor were making a fortune. When street gangs realized where the money was, they moved in. The utopian dance club turned into a war zone. Within months, the venue became a flashpoint for organized crime. Gangsters forced their way into the DJ booth with shotguns to threaten the staff, and rival factions started holding shootouts in the middle of the crowd.
No way.
Security guards were stabbed at the doors, and the violence became impossible to contain. The owners tried to keep it open, but the situation was untenable. They eventually locked the doors for good because the violence had become a permanent feature of the venue. It remains the only nightclub in history that went bankrupt because its patrons were too high to buy beer.
Music history minute is like sex on drugs.
Wow.
That's wild,
That's
dude.
Bananas.
And
that sounds like a Blue Monday to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what a bad luck streak. They lose their lead singer, and then they're like, all right, we'll do New Order now. And hey, let's do a nightclub. And it's like, oh, shit, dude. What have we done?
This sucks.
Yeah, this sucks.
Son of a bitch. All right. Well, thanks, Music History Minute. Always learning something new. Let's get back to Six Picks.
Welcome to the Middle Pick Fuckers.
So my second pick number 3 for the show, is off of the eponymous record St. Vincent by St. Vincent from January 2014. This is Digital Witness.
Yeah. People tell the TV only looks just like a window. Yeah. Digital innocent. What's the point of even sleeping if I can't show it? You can't see me. What's the point of doing anything?
Okay. Annie Clark of Dallas. You're St. Vincent. Recorded and put out the song, I guess, 12 years ago now. Just pretty wild.
That is wild.
It still feels fresh and new to me. This is, I I think when St. Vincent really hits her stride, this is still probably my favorite record of hers. She named it after herself because I think it was an announcement of sorts saying, this is what I am as an artist. You got another great song called Prince Johnny on this record.
The Birth in Reverse, man.
Birth in Reverse, dude, greatness. So Annie Clark, I think we've mentioned this before, but I saw Annie Clark play in I feel like it was 2005 or 6 at a tiny club in Denton, Texas. And it was before she became what she was going to become, but she was already a badass then. And it was so cool. This is also one of the songs that are this is a record that has somebody or multiple band members from the band Midlake playing in the background. So Mackenzie Smith is on drums here. Midlake has played on a number of awesome records, and they're also from the Dallas and Denton, Texas area. Very underrated. And the saxophonist is named Ralph Carney, the one that's doing that sax bit that she's sampling, and that's a guy that is all over Tom Waits records. So whenever you hear sax and Tom Waits records, it's that guy. And now that you know that, you're like, of course, all those crazy horns that you hear in Tom Waits, it's old Ralph Carney there. But yeah, I mean, what St. Vincent's talking about, this is social media was already well established by 2014, though still kind of newish. And this is just about how nothing is really verified unless you've videoed it or filmed it and put it all over social media and had everybody watch. What's the point of even sleeping if I can't show you, is what she's saying. Nothing I do matters unless I'm showing it to you and you're watching it, and man, does that not characterize our experience. And then she's doing that part part, which is obviously a dig at women in the way that vocal fry. Yeah. And I just saw St. Vincent with wife 2 weeks ago. It was on a Tuesday night, and she played in front of an orchestra. It was
cool.
Fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
But when she did this song in front of the orchestra, it was hilarious. I mean, first off, hearing an orchestra play the song is really cool, but then she would just stand up really straight and go, yeah, really hit it hard. And she kind of hams it up on stage sometimes, and then she was dressed like the 40s, and she came out and was really elegant and formal at the beginning, and she was almost doing robotic motions, where she was doing a performance art piece. And that was for 3 songs. She was just singing in front of the orchestra, and I just thought that would be the show. And then this exquisitely hot woman brought out her black guitar and handed it to her for the 4th song, and she put it up, strapped it on and was singing and doing the robotic thing. And then the music for the orchestra stopped, and she cocked the guitar and just goes, wow, and then cut into a solo, and everybody was like, what the fuck? It just melted our faces. It was, dude, her guitar playing is like Prince.
It is.
I think she's so
really
fucking awesome at guitar. But yeah, what a hell of a show. She ran into the crowd at some point, and she was directly engaging people during a song and chattering with them and goofing around and really getting people into it. It was a hell of a thing. But I'm a big fan. She's special. She's a ultra talented person. She's hard on interviewers, which I've always appreciated. I think she might have also gotten that from Prince a little bit. She won't just give away information, and she questions their questions.
Who was it that we were talking about that was super hard on interviewers?
God.
Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Lou Reed. She's
right.
not hard on people like Lou Reed was just an absolute dickhead. He had utter disdain and contempt for journalists, and he let it show. Annie Clark is more why are you asking that? Like, what is it that you're trying to figure out? Stuff like that, where she's like analyzing their interview while they're interviewing, and it really like knocks them off track. And she also just doesn't share a lot of information about herself, so it leaves it up to them to kind of like try to piece it together. But I think that's fine, because it is like rock, or probably all journalism, but especially like rock and movie journalism, where you're getting asked like the same dumb questions like 50 fucking times in a row. Like, there are a lot of people that have a ton of patience, but
and they're looking for a headline and clickbait, so they're gonna just change whatever they need to, or pull anything out of context, so that they can drive people to these stories, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, there it is. So you guys might as well protect yourself if you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Athletes that's why they don't say anything interesting anymore, because as soon as they say anything interesting, it's going to get twisted up and misconstrued and start a beef with somebody else. And they're like, that's not what I was trying to say. Ugh. And so they all just go like, we just got to focus on the next game, stick to our preparation. And they all say the same boring bullshit. I mean, it's just because journalists have pounded all the interesting stuff out of them. Like, they can't, they're just better off not saying anything of substance whatsoever. And so maybe that's got to do with it too. And that's also part of our computer world, because, it's a giant attention market, and is very hard to get attention when there's infinite content to compete with, right? So it's you've got to do whatever you can to get eyeballs and earballs on your stuff.
Annie Clark's one of the things that I like love about her is she went to Berklee College of Music in Massachusetts, in Boston. And they're a pretty prestigious kind of music college or whatnot. And she was there for 3 years, but then she left because she felt like her professors were more focused on the aesthetics of the art than the actual product itself. And so she was like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to go like actually make music. And that's when she came back to Texas and joined the Polyphonic Spree. And then, so she was in the Polyphonic Spree, and then she toured with Sufjan before she started doing her solo stuff. Yeah, man. No, I love that record. And it's like, it's one that I want my kids to love. So it's like, I have a secret kind of like, I'm just going to put this on, just kind of have it in the background, so that like maybe through just repetition, they they start to love it, because it's like,
yeah, you want them to find it on their own, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I want to influence a little bit. I want to program them a little bit more.
No. I'm saying if you just put it on the background and then you let them listen to it, and you're like, oh yeah, cool. You found that. Oh, you like that? Great. And then you never know which one they're going to attach themselves to. Like, we'll listen to my, the playlist I make, and some of the songs that they listen to are not the ones that I think are like the best, but they'll be like, when the requests come in, they're mostly from these playlists and
lists
like,
or whatever. Sure.
Yeah. Like, oh, cool. Like, okay, I don't know if I would have picked this song as like a request, but hey, I'm glad to listen to it, or whatever. Yeah. And then like, there's like a song that my son likes a lot and he listens to, and then the more I listen to it, and it wasn't my favorite from this band, but the more I listen to it, the more I actually like that the best. So now he's influencing me, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, there was a special moment in my dad heart when the older one, I was driving them to school and asked for a song request, and I got a Radiohead request, and I was just like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll play a Radiohead song for you. I'm so proud.
Now, have I told you the two songs that are in rotation right now with my boys? Like the all requests.
I don't think so.
And now it's bleeding over to my 2-year-old girl too, but it's Tenacious D tribute. Charlie Daniels, The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
You did tell us that.
Yeah, I told you guys that. Yeah. That's still going on. Almost too much now. I'm like, dude, there are other songs. yeah, you're almost ruining it for me.
You're just holding that rabbit a little too tight, Yeah. Come on, Lenny.
Man, you remember the first episode of season 2 when I did Streetlight Manifesto, and we did, and I made up that story about Albino Brown. So my kids listened to that song a bunch when it first went into rotation. And that year, I think Spotify said that we listened to it 77 times, which is a record. It beat all the other songs I've ever listened to ever, and including Let It Go when Let It Go was in its heyday.
That Albino Brown, he knows how to pick them. Well, hell yeah, Jeff. You got anything else on your song?
No, I've said my piece.
Sweet.
I feel like with Annie Clark, I feel proud, because like I think we're roughly the same age. Like she was coming up in the same place that we were, and we kind of saw the beginnings of, like, saw her play in Polyphonic Spree, and I think I actually opened for Polyphonic Spree getting my hair cut by a salon that was opening in Fort Worth. Like, we were the opening act for Polyphonic Spree.
Oh yeah, you and Dave Nelson did that.
On stage,
I remember that.
Yeah, getting their hair cut, and I had big long hair, and so she played in that show, and then she later played as St. Vincent when she was starting her solo career, and so it was cool to be there at the inception and to see what she's gone on to become. Friends with Dave Byrne, and all that stuff is like great. a real trailblazer in some ways.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's the thing about, like, the aesthetics of the art versus the actual art. That's kind of like, I feel like she is one of those that's just really committed to, creating it and having that expression. So
yeah,
she's a badass.
Yeah, Annie Clark, friend of the pod. Thanks, Annie.
Thanks, Annie. It's looking good. Only time I saw her play, she was playing the sexual, what is that album? Anyway, but she was just playing, it was just her solo, and all of the other instrumentation was a backing track, and I was like, it's cool, you're really shredding the guitar, but I'd love to see you stretch these songs out a little bit. So I'm still looking forward to seeing Annie Clark with the full band.
Feel it in your core, it's pick 4.
Okay, sliding over to pick number 4, we've got Russ with his first pick of the day.
Okay, so first off, I want to clarify that I think I totally botched the theme. So originally Dave was saying, hey, we do like electronic music, and then he said, well, or maybe computer or computer adjacent, and I felt like maybe that was him being like, bro, you have such a limited like musical catalog of like what you listen to, or like genre wise anyway.
Wait, what?
Here's a lifeboat, if you will, and you can just find a song about computers.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, man, fuck that. I'm gonna do I'll do electronica. Like, it's fine, I can do this. And so I didn't really do anything computer wise other than my pick. The first pick by my first pick tonight has a sample from Kraftwerk Home Computer. It's like this little section kind of happens in the middle and then throughout the rest of the song. But
nice little callback there.
Anyway, okay, so that being said, my pick tonight is called What Time Is Love? It's the Live at Trans Central version on the SSL record. Came out in 1990. They did another version of this in 1988 that was just instrumental, and then they did a studio version of the song in 91. But this is the Trans Central version.
Yeah, this was not what I was expecting your pick was going to be.
The lyrics will flow, yo, for the words I speak. Rap is weak, so I teach and I reach. A positive vibe, a way of life is how I'm living. To get hype to the rhythm, KLF is the crew you hear, yeah. Design a rhyme I just won't fear. Back to react, enough is enough. Let me ask you a question. What time is love? What time is love? What time is love? What time is love?
It makes me think of like the rave scene in The Matrix.
Dude, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the KLF were formed in the late 1980s by Bill Drummond, who goes by King Boy D, and Jimmy Cauty, who was Rockman Rock. They were highly influenced by the Illuminatus trilogy, they named their first band after it, which was the Justified Ancients of Mumu. Jeff, did you read that at all?
No.
But you're our conspiracy theory theorist, aren't you?
That's true.
Well, maybe try it out if you are looking to get your rocks off. So, Wikipedia calls the Illuminatus trilogy a drug, sex, and magic-laden trek through a number of conspiracy theories, both historical and imaginary, related to the author's version of the Illuminati. Their early work was known for just plagiarizing the shit out of other artists like ABBA, which of course led to lawsuits. So they traveled to Sweden in a 1968 Ford Galaxy police car named the Time Lord. This is when they were going by the name the Time Lords. They have several different iterations of this band with like different names, but it's just been the same two guys. So for the sake of all of this, we're just going to call them the KLF. Anyway, they took this 1968 Ford Galaxy police car to meet ABBA to give them the gold record that they had earned with the sample that they stole from ABBA, and ABBA refused to meet them. So defeated, Drummond and Cotty threw copies of the 1987 album What the Fuck Is Going On into the sea, gave one to a puzzled Swedish prostitute, and burned the remaining 250 copies in a field while a friend took photos for their next album cover.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so after they had that first chart topper, the one they ended up burning, they wrote a step-by-step book detailing how to achieve a UK #1 single without any money or talent. And they ended up creating another band, like another name of a band, and went through like a side channel to put the song out there, and then ended up getting success with it and hitting #1. So
that's incredible.
So it works.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so in 1992, they had a banner year. They were at the Brit Awards, and they were performing with a punk band called Extreme Noise Terror. They were doing their 3 a.m. Eternal song, which is what I was originally going to pick. And then when I saw the computer stuff come in, I was like, oh shit. And so I went with the one that had the Kraftwerk sample. Anyway, they ended up, after their song, pulling out Uzis filled with blanks and firing them over the audience's head, freaking everyone out. Originally, they wanted to throw buckets of real sheep blood over the celebrity audience, but the BBC lawyers were like, no, you cannot do that.
No, absolutely not.
And so the Uzis with the blanks were their backup plan.
What? So their initial demand was so outrageous that when they walked it back to Uzis, they're like, okay, well,
well at least Gibby Haynes already set precedent with this.
I'm pretty sure they didn't run it past anybody. Anyway, as they were leaving after the Uzi incident, over the loudspeaker or over the PA system, it said the KLF have now left the music business.
That is incredible.
Did I ever tell you guys about? I went to the North Texas rock rally and I watched Ted Nugent play, and he shot a flaming arrow over the crowd, and it landed behind us, and then like one of his crew put it out. But if he had missed or something, then somebody would have to dodge it. Yeah, so
he would have hit. Somebody could have been killed, not for Ted Nugent. Jesus, oh my God.
Yeah, and he shot it like a few hundred yards at least. Like I don't know how far he had to shoot it to get it over the whole crowd, but everybody was like, "Oh shit, dude!" Like everybody was like, kind of like, "Yeah, no, I don't know about this one.
Let's not die for this guy.
This is not cool, dude." Yeah,
fucking sucks.
Insane.
Whoa.
Then Jay-Z pops out. You crazy for this one, Ted? Shaboy.
Shaboy. Yeah, just anytime anybody does anything crazy, Jay-Z. Such a funny idea. You crazy for this one, Ted? Shaboy. Gotta go. I gotta go. Somebody else is doing something crazy in South Texas. I gotta go.
So later that night, they dumped a dead sheep on the steps of the official Brit Awards after party at the Royal Lancaster Hotel with a sign around his neck reading, "I died for you, bon appetit."
It's awesome.
Okay. And then they deleted their back catalog. This is still all the same year. They deleted their back catalog, which is why you can only find live recordings of their music.
Okay.
Huh. Why?
Can I read that Transcendental is like not real, that it's a fake club, and that this isn't actually a live recording. They dubbed all the live noise in.
Oh, Trans Central?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Trans Central isn't an actual place.
Oh, I don't know. That's wild. I didn't see that, but I wasn't looking for it either. Huh.
Yeah, okay.
Man, there's so many different versions of this song out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, when I was building out my playlist, I was like, is it the America one? Because it's like, there's the instrumental one in 88, and then there's this one, and then there's just this song's been remixed so many different times too. Like Echo and the Bunnymen did a remix of this.
It's just everywhere. It was
but yeah.
Do you have a feeling these guys partied?
I kind of think they maybe did, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They were also totally disillusioned with the music industry, right? And so check this. In 1994, they took $1 million, which was most of the money that they had from like their music royalties, and set it on fire on this Scottish island. Jimmy Cauty, who's Rockman Rock, he later admitted that for years afterward, he would freeze up with regret every time he saw a 50-pound note, because, I mean, that was all of their money.
God, that's insane.
Wait, so they burned $1 million?
Yeah, like of their own money, which is just to like prove that they were totally done with the music industry, I guess.
Oh my God, dude.
It's so unhinged.
Yeah, that's incredible,
No shit.
but also like, what the
What the fuck are you thinking? Yeah. At least do a bunch of drugs.
Yeah,
At least spend it all on drugs.
Yeah, shoot it up your arm, man.
Okay, so when they quit the music industry in 92, they signed a contract on a paper plate promising not to speak about or release any music for 23 years, 23 being a sacred mystical number in the Illuminatus trilogy. They strictly honored this, completely vanishing from the public eye until exactly 23 years later, when they returned in 2017 in a converted ice cream van to launch a book. So they're like doing book stuff now.
Huh.
That's so wild.
That's wild.
So I read Bill Drummond calls this the 3-note workhorse, because it's just like it's 3 notes the whole song, and
It sounds like the Mortal Kombat music to me.
it does sound like the Mortal Kombat music. Yeah. But no, it's also kind of like one of those forefathers of trance and techno and festival EDM stuff. Like a lot of that, I think is still very in today. You know, there's like a whole electronica like scene. This is old man waving fist at the cloud. Like there's like a whole EDM warehouse scene on the east side of Austin that like is kind of underground, but everybody knows about it. All the cool people do.
Let's take a break and chew the fat. Play that motherfucker.
Jeff, Russ, and Dave in the motherfucking chat. Chewing the fat on stuff weird and whack.
And today's Chewing the Fat is brought to you by Excuse GPT. Have you ever been in a completely avoidable situation that required a sincere apology? Don't waste precious seconds reflecting on your actions. Just upload a brief description of what happened, and Excuse GPT will instantly generate a heartfelt apology that sounds like you spent hours like examining your own behavior. So, did you forget an anniversary? Yeah, Excuse GPT. You accidentally replied all to that email? Yep, excuse GPT. Ate your roommate's leftovers while just making really intense eye contact? Yeah, premium subscribers even get the I know trust has to be rebuilt package. So personal growth is slow, artificial intelligence is lightning fast. Excuse GPT. All right, Dixie, let's hear it.
Yeah, I had a friend in for his 50th birthday, and we went to a World Cup match.
Oh, fun!
Croatia versus Portugal.
Nice.
And
did your team win?
That was a hell of a lot of fun. We bought Croatia shirts and we were rooting for Croatia.
Oh, they did not win.
And in like the 90th minute or something, like the very end of the game, they equalized with a second goal.
Yeah.
And then VAR disallowed it because they said that the soccer ball touched somebody's hair on Croatia side, which played the guy off sides that scored the goal, and it was horseshit.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched that video, 8-second video, like 100 times. I'd never seen the ball touch that guy's head, and for all intents and purposes, it did not. But they
like
said that the little microchip in the ball, it registered like a slight uptick in activity. So they're like, it must have touched him. No, it didn't,
Maybe
dude.
it hit a bug.
Oh, God.
Was this the friend, the one at the World Cup that has the heart thing? Or
He has pericarditis, and he just, even though it was flaring up, he decided to drink for 4 straight days, which is insane. He probably doesn't want the world to know that, though.
Okay, what is pericarditis? I'm not a fucking doctor, bro.
It's like an inflammation of the pericardium, which is it's a sac that's around your heart. And so it gets like the fluid gets inflamed, and it causes a lot of it causes chest pain. But
Jesus. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
My God, dude. You can't be fucking around with the heart. That sounds wild.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it causes chest pain, but it apparently does not cause heart attacks. But I still if there's any heart related thing, your heart is a pump,
Right.
And I grew up. I had a pool. I had air compressors around. Pumps broke all the fucking time, dude. Pumps are impossible to keep running. And so all I think about is like how unreliable pumps are.
Yeah.
Pumps that are supposed to be running 24/7. And I was like, that's what our fucking hearts are, dude. They're just pumps, and they're just squeezing blood out. And what if just a rubber gasket breaks in that bad boy? Yeah, you got no blood pumping anymore. Yeah, you're done for. That's what happened to Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's out there. He's like, last night I got back from Ukraine. I banged a twink in secret, and then I'm out here. I'm promoting this bill, and then he goes home and just dies because his heart was like, anyways,
I'm out.
We're done. Yep. Jeez.
And now back to Six Picks Music Club.
Keep the drive alive, it's pick 5.
Sweet. Well, let's get back to it. Pick number 5 is mine. And, it's up to me. Keep the drive alive. So pick 5, we're going to go to one of my favorite records of 2007. And it's the debut record by the French electronic music duo Justice. And the album is Cross. And the song is Dance. Let's hit it. So this is one of the first records I can remember getting recommended to me via Pitchfork. I was late to the game on them as a music review site or music journalism or whatnot. And they had it on their list of best new albums or whatever the summer of 2007, I think. Or maybe it was the spring, I can't remember. But I picked it up and it's really, really pretty fucking great. This is a really poppy song on that album, but it's the rest of the album has a lot more, a lot more crazy. They have a song called "Stress," and it is just like a panic attack inducing fucking fever dream of a song. It's just like it's wild. Russ, I think you actually would.
Yeah, man. So like the video, it's got like they're just committing acts of random violence, and carjacking, and assaulting a cameraman.
Why? What's it called? Fever dream?
No, Stress.
And it ended up triggering this like massive national debate in France, and politicians and media outlets accused it of inciting violence and trafficking in like racist stereotypes. The band defended it as a mirror to French media sensationalism. So you know.
No, this is
so like they're coming up and in France, and sort of Daft Punk is kind of the world of electronic music at the time.
This totally reminds me of the Daft Punk Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. It's got kind of in the background, it's got a similar thing going on there. Anyway, it's cool. I like it.
Well, no, it's definitely like influential. You got both of them being French electronic music. I think the thing with Daft Punk that's very different is that like I would say their stuff is a little bit on the cleaner side, and this is like kind of asking like, what if AC/DC made dance records? They are like, what if we made the songs sound like the computer's breaking? Like what if we fucked up all this stuff but also made it really danceable? And so like this song is really poppy because it's their homage to Michael Jackson, child rapist Michael Jackson. They're fans of, not the child raping part, but they're fans of Michael. And that's all. PYT, Pretty Young Thing, is his song. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Like there's all of the sort of educational calling out things, and then the line they talk about his dancing is like, do the dance. The way you move is a mystery. I think that's always just kind of like, yep, he was a good fucking dancer. But the thing that's interesting, I think, about this song specifically is that it's like all of the music is like it's compressed, and the bass is distorted, and like the drums they clip, and so it's like it doesn't sound like clean, good music, but it's also sort of juxtaposed against this children's choir that's singing the lyrics. And so it's like, you've got like a really dirty, grungy, hard sound that's like, you could see at the club, you're getting nice and sweaty to it, but it's also like got this really pop child choir thing that's giving you a sort of an uplift.
And they also
to it.
sound like a little off pitch, like the children's choir. It's like a little not. They're not quite hitting the notes right, but
it's like the children's tubercular choir.
Well, and so how this comes into
no, it's not tabernacle, it's tubercular. You guys, we should be clear that these kids are gonna struggle up there.
No, they worked in the mines. They worked in the mines until they were 9, and then they're in the choir. But yeah, so like one of the stories that I read looking at this song is that they made the record entirely in Pro Tools on a computer, like which isn't exactly true.
Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. Rather, I say Pro Tunes, idiot.
Pro Tunes.
But so they did actually record live instruments and sample records and stuff, and the vocals are real. But then they put those recordings into Pro Tools and just like cut it all up. So they've got like over 400 samples on this album, and they didn't have to clear very many of them at all because they're so small that like nobody would recognize it. So there's like a clap from a 50 Cent song that's like a half a second that they've put into one of the beats, or there's like Slipknot singing a vocal that is part of another thing. And so they have all of these little bits and pieces of stuff that they've assembled into making the music sound the way that it does. So,
oh man, it's like engineering music edition.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Kraftwerk.
Well, yeah.
Like doing but they're, instead of doing a bunch of beeps, you just have a million samples, and it's kind of like plagiarizing sentence by sentence. Like if you just took one sentence from 400 different writings, and everybody would be like, well, it's not. Is this plagiarism? And it is, but at the same time, like the way that you've recombined all of those sentences makes something new.
Well, last thing I got on this, the album cover, it's just like a big giant cross. And so sometimes it's referred to as with the symbol of a cross, or sometimes it's just cross. But they did it as an homage to the T-Rex Electric Warrior cover that Hypnosis did with Storm Thorgerson. Great dude.
God, if that guy had a list.
Great dude. They got nominated for a Grammy. I had that written down for this record. But they, here it is. They lost to the Chemical Brothers, which is also like showcasing that the Grammys aren't a designator of greatness. The LCD Sound System Sounds of Silver was also nominated that same year and lost to the fucking Chemical Brothers. So,
who is this doing this synthetic type of alpha beta psychedelic funkin'? Come on, Chemical Brothers, dude.
Back with another one of them block rockin' beats. Back with another one of them block rockin' beats.
I like the Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, they're not bad. All right.
That's a pretty good lineup for that, whatever Grammy that was. Was it for electronic music? Or was
it was electronic music.
Tit pick, baby, tit pick, fuck yeah.
Okay, we are down to the final pick.
Tit pick, baby. Fuck yeah.
Russ, what do you got for the tit pick today?
Okay, so I was thinking to myself, all right, we got electronic music. That's our theme. I don't go very deep into electronic music, but I thought, how can we have an episode on this and not do the Prodigy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my pick today is Firestarter.
I'm the trouble starter. Monkey needs to go tap. I'm the fear addicted. Danger illustrated. I'm a fire starter. Twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter. Twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter.
Okay, so the Prodigy were formed in 1990 in Braintree, Essex by Liam Howlett. And Liam Howlett is the one who writes all the music, and he like combines that aggressive punk attitude with the heavy rave techno that goes along with it. Keith Flint, the guy singing in this song, he originally joined back in 1990, but he was just a dancer. This is like back when they were just like in the rave scene, and he didn't record vocals until 1996, which is like when this album came out in 97, but this is the first time he sang was on this album. And this was his first ever vocal track, right? Firestarter was, which made him like, like globally famous, or just at least like the world knew who he was, right? And the music video for Firestarter was filmed in
Are they like, it's some chick going through a party, like drinking? And
No, that was Smack My Bitch Up.
Okay.
So the music video for Firestarter was filmed in an abandoned London underground tunnel. The BBC and Top of the Pops banned the music video after receiving a record number of complaints from parents saying that Keith Flint was terrorizing and giving nightmares to their children.
Oh.
Yeah. Is it black and white though?
Yeah, it definitely was. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he had like the kind of the two mohawk thing going on, and the crazy eyeliner, and the just kind of crazy looking faces and stuff. It's pretty funny. And apparently scary to children in London or in the UK or something.
He was scary looking, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the video for Smack My Bitch Up was it caused mass outrage and was voted the most controversial song of all time in the UK.
Wow.
So I mean, you've got this person who is
it's all like first person POV.
Yeah, like they it starts off and like they're in the shower and they get out and then they sit down, they take a couple of shots, they do a line of blow, they go to a club, they drink a bunch more, they start dancing around, they go to the bathroom and they puke, and they go back and they drink some more, and they get in a fight with the DJ, and they like take some of the equipment and like throw it down, and they're like groping women and just causing mass just trouble everywhere, and then like puking again and drinking more and more drugs and more fighting and more groping, and goes to like another club and to another club, and then like goes on, ends up going to a strip club and like watching a bunch of strippers out there, and then like taking a stripper home, fucking the stripper, right? And the stripper leaves, and then at the last second you see that it's just a woman who was like, that's crazy, the character the whole time, and which is, you think in 1997, like, oh my god, like what a cool fucking twist. So anyway, yeah, pretty great, and pretty wild for the time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that sounds like a party I never had. I do more talking when I go out and drink. You know, like, how about let's tap the brakes for a second? Yeah. Let's tap the brakes for a second and could we just discuss Bill Clinton's legacy for a little while? Or
all right, a couple of other things about the Prodigy. So at the 1998 Reading Festival, they were opening for the Beastie Boys, and the night and before the show, the Beastie Boys personally asked the Prodigy not to play Smack My Bitch Up, just because they're like, hey man, like it's just promoting violence against women, and like we'd prefer you don't do that like when you're out playing with us. And then the Prodigy was like, you know what, fuck that, fuck you. Like they ignored them, they played the song anyway, and then the frontman yelled into the microphone, I do what the fuck I want.
That's our biggest hit. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that.
But again, like the Prodigy are nowhere, and the Beastie Boys were still, making hits until they started dying, right? So support women, right? It's better.
Well, Mike D's got a solo record coming out.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got I think he was doing some stuff with his kid, but he's got a solo project. So I'm excited to see what that sounds like. So no, when I was a freshman in college, I went to UNT. It's where I met Fro, and I was in the theater department. And as a freshman, first semester, I got cast in the main stage play. I was one of Jason's goons in Medea, so I was kind of an extra. But
you were doing Tyler Perry plays?
Yeah, it's a Tyler Perry. Yeah,
not that one. It was the Greek tragedy Medea. It's Jason and Medea and all the kids who then get murdered and burned.
I think it's like Medea versus the Titans, right? And then it's like, Zeus, why the fuck are you going?
Tyler Perry.
Zeus, why you hitting me with the lightning bolts?
I don't think, no, it wasn't that. It was, but it did have like they tried to do this sort of like Mad Max kind of design to it, and so we were all dressed as like leather daddies and like had fake piercings and stuff, and my hairstyle was that twin mohawk, that twin Prodigy haircut, and so like I got that haircut
nice.
like I think in September of my freshman
You
year.
actually had to wear that haircut?
Well, it might have been from October to January. Yeah, because like we went to some competition.
Unbelievable,
So, yeah.
dude. That's so
it was
awesome.
dyed blue and twin mohawk. So I'm a fan.
Increíble.
Okay. Also, so later in life, Keith Flint bought and ran this traditional like English country pub called the Leather Bottle in Essex, and he installed a real log fireplace in the pub. He set this like this strict rule that if any customer made a fire starter joke while he was lighting the fire, they had to put $1 or £1 into a swear jar on the counter.
Yeah, he's like, and he's looking around. He's like,
who's gonna say?
Which one of you motherfuckers is gonna talk first? Huh?
Don't do it. Don't.
Okay, last thing. So during the early 90s, when they were heavy into the rave scene, their live shows were so energetic that crowds would just dance continuously at like maximum intensity. And there was this one gig in the Maya complex in Iceland. The humidity from the sweat of the crowd rose to the ceiling and just like condensed, and it started raining sweat back down onto the band and the equipment and like everybody. Is that not gross or what?
Yeah.
That's possible? There were sweat clouds?
I don't know if there were sweat clouds or not, but like I'm assuming that it just went up to the top and like just got so thick of like the sweat that it just started to fall or something.
Wow.
It's sounds incredibly gross, but if you're on a bunch of drugs, maybe it's really cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Both of your songs are taking me to the rave scene in The Matrix.
Did you know that Madonna was obsessed with Prodigy and she did that thing? What was the band that she courted that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago?
Rancid.
Rancid. Yeah, she like tried to track Keith Flint down to sign Prodigy to her label too. Like she's huge Prodigy stan, you know?
Man, like Madonna, dude. I wish I knew who was on her label. I should look at that. But I mean, she was definitely trying to get like the biggest and the best going around at the time, and really just versatile.
How did he die? Age 49, huh?
They said it might have been suicide, but then the coroner said it wasn't, but he had drugs in the system, and it's open-ended. They're not really sure.
Yeah, unclear.
Yep. So it goes. Sucks. 49 is young, man. Not cool.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's too early, man.
Yeah.
He seemed like he worked his heart. Speaking of hearts, he probably put a lot of stress on his heart. This guy. There's pictures of him running, but he's probably like, I imagine MDMA running, which is probably way more fun, you know. So you're just doing a bunch of Molly and fucking coke and singing and dancing your ass off and going for jogs, like, you know, the pump can't handle all that. Like the pump will break.
Do you think he looks like scary Avril Lavigne?
Yeah. It's weird because I don't find him scary looking. Like I know that he had like the double hawk and the eyeshadow or whatever, but it's like, okay, just look like I don't know.
Yeah.
He's kind of like pretty, I guess. And so I don't really find him to be all that terrifying. Yeah.
I guess that's where the Avril Lavigne comes from.
Avril Lavigne. God, I miss her. I miss her music. I wish she was around more, like she was still putting some stuff out there for us.
She fell in love with that skater boy and then was all church from there.
Yeah. But I thought she said see you later to him, but I guess...
No, then she did see him later.
But it got complicated.
I think it did damn complicated because she got pregnant. Oh, gosh. I don't know that part's true. Well, hell yeah, guys. That was a lot of fun, man. I really dug y'all's picks, and it was a fun thing to kind of get into and learn about the origins, for me anyway. I probably didn't teach listener enough, but learn about the origins of electronic computer music. But that is going to do it for us today. Thanks, listener, for hanging out and being with us in the clubhouse and joining us every other Wednesday. We love it. We love you, and we want to see you again in 2 Wednesdays. Before you get out of here, let's check the mail, see what we got. And we have one from Brent in Portland, and he writes, "Hey guys, so a couple eps back, Jeff and Russ were telling Dave that being a bottom only had to do with being the anal sex receiver. And I wanted to clarify to you guys that he was right. It can also carry a broader meaning regarding power dynamics, indicating someone who enjoys being led or relinquishing control. Just so you know. Also, go check out the new Vince Staples record. The Blackberry Marmalade was the song he wants us to play. So,
nice. I like Vince Staples a lot.
Yeah, that's a new record.
The song North, you know that song?
Ooh.
I ain't never run from nothing but the police. Don't. West side, north. Yeah, anyway, you gotta listen to it.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, Brent, thanks so much. I appreciate the support and appreciate the opportunity to bring a little education to even just my own fellow co-hosts. Thanks. We'll give that one a spin. We'll play some Vince as we get out the door and lock things up. Appreciate the recommendation. Our opening music is from the Shaolin Death Squad, and they're badasses, so please go give them a little bit of love. We'll see you in 2 weeks, listener. And as always, the tracks for today's show are in the show notes in the Spotify playlist, so give them all a spin. And don't forget to play them loud and keep jamming. This episode of Six Picks Music Club was produced by Anita, B, J, and me. Edited by May, I, Dutchman. With special thanks to Dixie Rex.
Blackberry Mama